Have you ever wanted to run Minecraft at an insane frame rate, but your computer's just too slow? If then, I have a few tips. The first thing you should do is turn down your render distance. Render distance is how far you're able to see. A higher render distance is slower, but your computer is having to do more things at once. The maximum render distance is 64, but this is extremely difficult to run, even if you don't have a good computer. The minimum render distance is 2, but this isn't very fun to play because you can barely see anything. A good middle ground is between 6 and 10 chunks of render distance. This gives you a reasonably far view distance while not sacrificing too much FPS. My next tip is to close other applications. Having other apps open will slow down your computer and make it harder for your game to run. It's fine if you have a few Chrome tabs open, but you don't want to have a million things open at once. My next tip is a big one. Use a custom client. Custom clients such as Lunar or Badlion are designed to give you a lot more FPS, as well as giving you a ton of helpful mods, such as toggle sprint, zoom, and an FPS meter, and much more. The best part about these clients is they're allowed on virtually every Minecraft server in existence, and they're super easy to set up. Lunar client usually gives more FPS than Badlion, so I play with Lunar. The next tip sounds a little weird and kind of stupid until you hear the reasoning behind it. If you go to options, then video settings, you will see a slider that says max frame rate. Most of you probably have seen it before and set it to unlimited, but it's actually better to limit to something like 60 or 70 or 80. It helps prevent some frame dips. Think of it this way: if you fill a cup to the brim with water, you have nowhere else to go after that. If you try to add more water, it'll just spill over the side and create a mess. But if you limit the cup to half full, when you need to add more water, you have plenty of room and it won't overflow. This is basically the same thing with the computer. If you run it at full speed the entire time, then when you need extra resources, like if you're trying to render something, then the game will freeze up for a second, and you will get an awful lag spike that makes the game practically unplayable. The last one is a bit of an advanced option. You can change the amount of RAM Minecraft uses. RAM is like your computer's short-term memory. All the applications you currently have open are stored in RAM. Giving a program more RAM allows it to access important game files faster than if it has to retrieve it from a slower SSD or even a hard drive if you're still using one of those. If you're using Lunar Client, giving more RAM to Minecraft is easy. Go into the settings tab, change the slider to 4, which is how much RAM I'd give it. I personally have 16 gigs of RAM, and I only give it 4. You probably shouldn't go above 4. If you don't use Lunar, then you can do it with the Minecraft launcher. Click on Installations, click on the 3 dots on the installation you want to change the RAM for, click Edit, click More Options, see where it says -XMX2G space -XX, etc. Change the 2 to a 4, which means you're giving 4 gigs of RAM, not 2. I'd keep it at 4 at max if you have 16 gigs of RAM like I do. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe.